Hey, how are you? So you're a student who is about to do her solo performance and you're about to write a report. Where do you get started? So first of all, you have to find a theory that you'd definitely be interested in working with. And this connects to a theorist as well. Ideally, I usually tell students to pick theories and theorists that actually align with their interest, what they actually love. For example, if you love dancing, then pick a theorist that actually likes to work with dances. If you like music, pick a theorist that actually likes to work with music. So, but in this particular video, I'd like to talk about one theory which we call alienation effect. And ideally, probably you know what is alienation. You're trying to separate the audience from having empathy or sympathy with actors that are already on stage based on the story that they're telling. And that way you have to come up with stage techniques to create alienation effect. So one theorist or practitioner that is very good with this is called Bertolt Brecht. So he is a practitioner who's written several plays that are well known globally. So some of the aspects that he came up with is the use of placards, also the changing of costumes and set on stage while the audience are watching the play. We also have breaking the fourth wall, and as well as picking stage directions. So these are some of the aspects that a student can actually focus on while working on a solo performance. But how will this be visible on stage? So alienation means that if I'm watching a performance on stage, the moment I feel like I'm identifying myself with an actor, the actor quickly uses a technique to stop me from going through the process of catharsis. So when I'm about to laugh, then that is stopped. When I'm about to cry, that is something is just interfered with that kind of an emotion. So I'll definitely see a student using a placard before an action or an after an action, probably for a shadowing effect, okay, probably for a tell and tell me exactly what kind of feeling and emotion I'm going to feel, or what is going to happen next. Or you can bring in something that is actually not even relevant to the play, but actually tells a story, maybe a parallel story or a similar story giving more information. So using of the placards. But using of the placards become excessive within the dialogue, such that when I'm just trying to understand the emotion that the actor is trying to express, you use a placard, that means I'll read what is on the placard and my emotion will be stopped from there. Speaking of stage directions, quite a weird technique. Stage directions are just supposed to be read by an actor, but when you speak them on stage, then the audience will have to stop having emotions from what you are saying and actually listen to your stage directions. So speaking them verbally. The other one is breaking the fourth wall, asking the audience questions, involving them in the actions that are taking place on stage, making an entrance from the audience, making an exit towards the audience, having a performance start while you're seated in the audience, having some actions within the audience. All this is breaking the fourth wall. That means you're involving the audience in exactly what you're performing on stage. Right. So how will I know that when you're using all these techniques, and when you're using performance elements and design elements, that you're actually meeting your intentions? Of course, in your file or in your report, you'll have written the intentions that you actually want to achieve at the end of the performance. But how will I know that that is actually being done? So you work with team, that is tension, emotion, meaning, and atmosphere, and that can be used using performance elements and design elements. So performance elements, you're talking about the voice and the body, how you say something. Design elements about sound, light, costume, and set design. So how well do you send your message using design elements, and how well do you actually achieve your intentions? So if it's voice, we go further to deal with tone, volume, pitch, pace, pauses. So how well you use these particular elements when it comes to voice. When it is set design is how well you're using the props, the walls, the floor, artifacts to, send that message that you really want to send. And as well, not to forget that set design creates a certain atmosphere. And that is well echoed even with lights, the color of lights, where they are placed, what gadgets actually you use on stage when you're using that light. So, for example, if it's a story about war, then I believe the arrangement of props on stage should depict probably a war that has already happened, a messy stage, things that have already been burnt, broken, maybe a backdrop, painting of the effects of war, okay? The actors on stage can have costumes that are probably torn, burnt, maybe from a bombing and all those kind of things, dirty, maybe from walking away from a war-torn area, okay? The voice can be maybe someone who's gone through something. It's sad, sorrowful, slow, sometimes because of anger, maybe quick in terms of pace, high pitch because of anger and frustration. So all that can actually depict war. The lighting probably can change from red to, for example, if it's a story that you're telling that it's about history, you can play around with white and gray light. So all these design elements can actually help in showing that you've actually achieved your intentions. And there you go with your solo performance.